Alright, in this video, let's start with very first hook, that is state hook. Up until now, if you are writing functional component and ran into the situation to add state, you have to convert component to the class component. That is simply because state can only be used in the class-based component. So, to understand React hooks, let's take one example, that is counter example. So, go to VS Code and make one new folder, that is hooks, inside the component, and inside the hooks folder let's make one component, that is hooks counter.jsx. So if you remember, hooks is just a function that lets you hook into the React feature. So hooks is only used in the functional based component. So to make function component, let's import the React from React. Also useState. So useState is a hook that lets you to add state to a function component. By using useState, we can use state in the functional based component. So let's import the useState in the React. useState from React. Then to make the counter, we have three steps. That is, first of all, create the component. So let's make functional component. Function counter. Inside this, we return the HTML. Inside div, let's make one button component to increment the counter. So let's import it on the main component. Before importing, let's export the books counter. Export default books counter. Then go to the app.js and import the books counter. I use auto import extension, that's why it automatically import the books counter. So again, the second step to make a counter is to initialize state with 0. So hooks is just a function, so just call it and go inside the function and type const count and set count equals to useState with 0. So here count is a variable that count the number from 0 to many more, and set count is a method that update the state. So useState accept an argument which is initially value of the state property and return current value of the state property and method capable of updating the state. So useState is initialized with 0 and setCount is a method which update the state. Then this const setCount is a array destructuring. This is very most important concept in the React. So go to the button and let's make one event handler on click and pass the arrow function and update the state, that is setCount. To update the state, we use setCount, that is method in the hooks count plus 1, and inside this let's call the counter variable count plus 1. So to run the project, go to terminal and change it to your app name, that is contact and npm start. It will run your project on the browser. So count 0, count 1, count 2, count 3, count 3. It works. So in the functional component, we can also use the state. So by using hooks, we can use state in the functional component. To use this, first of all, in the summary, we first of all import the useState. useState is just a function which takes an argument which is initial value of state property, that is 0 in the counter example, and it return current value of the state property, and method capable of updating the state, that is count and set count. And on the onClick event, we call the arrow function and we update the state, that is set count is a method which update the state, and count plus 1. And inside this, we call the counter variable, that is count, which is initially the 0. So click to button to increase the value. So click. So this is the basic example of state hooks. React hooks is very powerful concept in the front-end library. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe my channel.